everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is the 7th video in the series that I'm doing about finding your style. If you're interested in the series, I've got an introduction as well as 6 other videos with different types of painting styles. Not all of these styles are my favorite, but the whole point of this series is to show you that a flower doesn't have to look exactly like a flower to still be able to paint and have fun and just enjoy the process of being creative. As you can see with this style that I'm doing, I've done 3 blobs and then I've added some pigment into those little blobs of water, and now I'm just going to expand those into pretty rough petal shapes. Doesn't have to be perfect, as nothing in nature is perfect, but you just want to be able to take that that pigment and spread it about so that you've got your actual petals. You can put as many petals as you like, and also you can have them any shape that you like. I'm going to be expanding the shape of my petals. I start out with having them a little bit thinner, as you can see, and letting that dry for a bit, because then when you take the watercolor paint with the pigment and expand it like I'm doing, that original paint will stay on there and it'll just give a little bit of background definition. I'm using very cheap paper for these little videos that I'm doing, and you'll notice that the water tends to pool in certain places, and that's just one of the characteristics of cheap paper. When you work with proper, better paper, should I say, not proper paper, but when you work with better watercolor paper, you don't tend to have the problems that I'm having now. So you'll see that I'm constantly picking up and moving that pigment, moving that water, because I have to do that when I'm working on cheaper paper. These flowers will be done in layers. So once you've done your first layer and you have the petals exactly how you want them, all you have to do is let it dry. You can either just wait and let it dry naturally, or you can take a hairdryer or a heat gun and put it on a low setting, and that will help you to get it to dry faster. Once your first layer is completely dry, you're going to be doing the second layer. So these ones I do with a lot more definition and detail in them, purely because this top layer will be seen a lot more than that bottom layer. All you need to do now is keep going and adding your second layer of petals. They don't always have to be the same, but depending on what you've done with yours and how many petals you have and what the shape is of your flower at the end, just carry on doing that. I'm repeating certain aspects of that first layer, so you'll see that I'm leaving some open spots. It's not completely painted in. Some of the spots are open, they're open at different places. Some of it you can see the white from the actual paper, and some of it you can see the light color of the background flower. Doing this helps to add definition and detail to your painting so that it's not just a flat painting. When the second layer is complete, all you have to do is let it dry. So again, you can just let it dry naturally or use a heat gun or a hairdryer on a really low setting to help you get it dry. The paper and the paint needs to be completely dry, especially when you're going to be doing what I'm doing now, which is working with a pen. When you are working with a pen on wet paper, it doesn't really work well and everything tends to smudge and you can make a really big mess of your artwork. I'm starting the details of these flowers by doing the centers, basically where you'd have like your stamens. I'm just doing tiny little dots all around. Some are ovals, some are circles, but I'll just do all these tiny little dots. And once I've got that done, I'll be able to work from the center of the flower out. Once the outside of my centers are finished, of my little stamen area, once that's all done, then I will take a lighter pen and I will do something similar in the middle with a lighter pen and some more dots. When I'd finished this, I found that I wasn't exactly happy with how those centers worked. So I just picked up a different pen and I continued going, doing more dots, until I was finally happy with the appearance of the middle of the flowers. Next, I use my white pen just in the centers there, just to give it a little bit more definition in the middle of each flower. Now that that's done, I start with the details on the petals. I've taken my finest pen, which is a 0.05, and I'm just doing flicks. You would have seen in the previous video how I was just doing very, very fast little flicks. I just do flicks on the actual petals themselves, and I'm just going to keep on doing that until it gives me an appearance, a visual appearance that I'm happy with. When doing this, you need to find what you love. Remember, this is all about different styles for you and finding what you love. So if you don't want to put these details on the petals, you don't have to. If you don't like the white on the stamens, don't do it. These practices are all about you and finding what makes your heart sing. So don't feel compelled to do anything that you don't want to do, and if you have a different idea of something that you think would be really good and make it look beautiful, well then just go for it, just give it a try. So I'm just carrying on with the same thing, the same very, very fine pen, just doing those light flicks, those light lines across each petal, whether it be the first layer or the second. And I'm just keeping on doing it till it gets to a point that I'm really happy with the way it looks. You can use a different color pen. You can use a pen that's got a different thickness. You could even use a watercolor brush if you prefer, or pencils, or you name it. There's so much that you can do. Just sit down, take away all expectation, and have fun. We live in a society that expects us to be just like everybody else. When you're being creative, whether that's cooking or doing landscaping in your garden, no matter what format your creativity finds you in, it's all about you. You do not need to be compared to anybody else. Whatever your neighbor's doing is their business. Your creativity is about feeding your soul and your heart. So relax and just enjoy the process. So as per the other videos and as per the introduction, I'm not going to be doing leaves and foliage at this point. That's going to be a separate series. But all I'm wanting to do is just kind of highlight these flowers a little bit, and I'm going to put very fine sprays, just a couple, something very fine, very dainty, just to kind of help round the painting off a little bit. And there you have it, one more style, one more video about painting flowers and finding your style. I hope you found some value in this video, and hope to see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe until the next time.